Have you ever been on a blind date? Well, how about a blind date that resulted in marriage a little over 30 days later? Well, tonight we got a treat for you. Bruce and Gail Franklin are great friends. We've known them for at least 20, 30, maybe 40 years. And they're going to tell us their story, tell us the ups and downs, highs and lows, and how they came out on the winning side. So buckle up, Buttercup. Tonight's episode of Marriage with the McGlyns is coming at you.
So let's get started. Tell me how you guys met. How long it's been? Let's get all the formalities out of the way.
Okay.
How did you guys meet? Because I know that's a very interesting story as well. Yeah. And don't spare no details. We tell the truth on here, so just tell everything. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get started.
Please.
His sister and I worked together years ago, and she kept saying, "Robin, I want you to meet." My first name is Robin. I want you to meet my brother. And I said, well, I don't do blind dates. But because it's you, we're gonna meet. I'll meet him. And he was telling his sister, she was telling him the same thing. I want you to meet my friend. And he said the same thing. Well, I don't do blind dates, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And so she set up a time. And he was getting ready to go to Germany at that time in the military. And I told her, I said, well, I don't think I'll be able to make it. She was having dinner for him out because I was working and I couldn't get off from work. So we didn't meet that particular time. And then 15 months went around.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he came back home and she said the same thing. Well, my brother's coming back. I said, well, he's not married. She said, no, he's one. I want you to meet him and he wants to meet you. So we met on Christmas night, 1984.
Yep.
1984.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've been together ever since.
Okay. Tell us, Uncle Daddy.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, you did a good job. That's about it. We met on Christmas evening, 1984, and we got married 31 days later on January 26, 1985.
What is that? Now, let me ask you this. Because 31 days ain't a long time.
It's not.
So walk us through that process with family, with God, with how did that look for y'all fleshed out?
Great question.
I think the people want to know because you can't just roll up and say, yeah, we got married a month later and here we are. We need to know.
Great question. I'll tell you from my perspective and then you can tell from your perspective. Mm-hmm. At the time, I was, we talk real straight. That's the only way we know that.
That's the only way we know that.
At the time, I was a child of hell. Mm. I really was. And, doing what I do. And I was in Germany living a single man's life. A very young single man's life, but what was interesting was if I go back 6 to 7 years back, now, mind you, at the point that we met, I was 21, about to turn 22. Mm. So now I'm a young cat, right? Go back 6, 7 years from that when I told God that what I was seeing in the church at the time, I didn't want any part of.
Got it.
I was like, God, if this is you, I don't want no part of it. And so whatever my version of walking away was, but I knew God, I learned later that God understood my heart because I said to him, I said, I believe in you. I just don't believe in this stuff. Mm-hmm. I said, so maybe we'll meet again at some point, right?
Yeah.
So then come up to 1984 and I'm doing everything that
That's my phone. Go ahead.
Guys, we are excited about our first graphic tee. You can see it right here. It says God first, spouse second, the rest can take a number. And we're excited to be partnered with ILikeThatShirtBro.com. The shirt comes in black and it comes in white, so it'll pretty much match anything you got in your spring and summer wardrobe. Check out those colors. Get yours today, hit the link, and help represent Marriage with the McGlyns.
So with your just getting born again, mm-hmm. And you were already kind of grounded in the faith, I know that you guys are strong in prophetic ministry and that's where we met you guys, is when you were in ministry. Tell us a little bit about how that looked with marriage. You just kind of getting into this thing.
Yeah.
You're being rooted and grounded. How did you know the calling was there for both of you?
That's a great question. I would say that we hit the ground running. Before I get into that, can I digress for a half a second?
Absolutely.
Because there's a piece that Robin left out about us, about God bringing us together, that I think is really important. And it's quite miraculous. It's kind of interesting. Do you remember when you stopped at Baskin Robbins? Anybody remember Baskin Robbins?
I do.
Robin stopped at a Baskin Robbins quite by chance on South Boulevard, right?
Yeah. No, it was on Providence. It was
Providence.
on Providence Road.
She stops at a Baskin Robbins. She had applied for a job, and this, if she had not got this job, she wouldn't have ended up working with my sister, who wouldn't have introduced her to me.
Right.
So that's why I want to make sure I bring that part in, because
Wow.
it's really cool. She stops at a Baskin Robbins to get some ice cream. Nobody knows her there. She had just applied for the job that would end up putting her on the job with my sister. The phone rings in the Baskin Robbins and asks for Robin Greer. The phone rings in the Baskin Robbins, and the person answers the phone. One of the employees answers the phone and says, "Is there a Robin Greer in here?"
Wow.
And she's like, "Oh my God, yeah, that's me."
I was scared to answer. I was scared.
Who want to know?
Yeah, who want to know?
Maybe.
Maybe, you know.
Maybe, yeah.
And so she
I
answered.
answered the phone, and the lady on the other end of the phone, this is what I remember. She probably told me her name, but I was so stunned at the call, I don't remember. But I remembered everything else that she said after that. She said, "Are you still interested in the position, blah, blah, blah?" I said, "Yes, I am." And she told me, she said, "You come Monday morning, blah, 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 what time, whatever time," she said, "and you'll be entered into the class." I said, "Okay, yes, ma'am, I'll be there."
Baskin Robbins.
And and she gave me some other directions, and I said, "Okay, yes, ma'am, I'm still interested in the position, and I will be there Monday morning." And I hung up the phone. I was in a daze because,
Wow.
yeah,
This is why you don't have to chase for your spouse. All you have to do is trust for your spouse. That's why I wanted to make sure that we brought that piece in before answering your question. Now, we hit the ground running when we met, and then decided to get married, got married, immediately went into ministry, immediately, and immediately had children. You know, yeah, we got married in January 85, and Tiffany came in April 86, and then Joshua came in April 87. You know, so yes, to answer your question, we did all of them. We got married, we hit the ground running. I got saved, then we got married, then we hit the ground running in ministry, and also had children, all just in that little small span of time.
it's a busy time.
I will say this, Kelly. We look back many times over the years, and we had to acknowledge that we would have done well with counseling, premarital counseling.
Yeah.
So I want to say that just to make sure that it's part of the conversation. It's wonderful if God does a really miraculous thing, but it's even better if you recognize the need for talking to people who've been there, done that. I want to make sure we say that.
Yeah.
We didn't tell our testimony for a long time. And here's why: because we told it one time, and someone walked up to us and said, "I need for God to do it exactly the same way." And it really scared us.
Dangerous.
It scared us, you know, and I thought,
gonna do it like that,
man,
every time.
And so we were real shy about telling our testimony for a long
I
time
understand.
because we didn't want to mislead people.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't have the language to know to say what I just said. I can say that now. Hey, look, don't go after that. Go after God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's wise, because we also did. our counseling consisted of about 15 minutes.
Wow.
And
For a lifetime of marriage.
Yeah, for just you jumping in, you like, hey, I love him, he loved me.
Yeah.
We love Jesus for real now. And you jump in and stuff, and you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
And it's something that drew you to that God used to draw you to that person.
Yeah.
That was undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
But the part of where godly counsel
Yeah.
comes in is it's a deterrent. It keeps you from having to go through unnecessary stuff.
Right.
If you will heed, if you will take heed to the advice and the counsel that is given to you, most don't want to.
No.
Because when you want what you want and you're really just wanting to be married and you're making marriage an idol, then you're going to overlook anything God does. You're going to call everything God.
Sure.
And so moving into ministry, was Abundant Life your first? That was God called you to that.
He did. We ended up being per our pastor at the time. We ended up being their first what do you call it?
Givers,
partners.
Mm.
We were their first partners because I was still in the Army.
Right.
And so when we got married and I took her away. It was like we got married and I told her to pack up, and some of my buddies came up with me. I was stationed in Germany at the time, in Georgia, at the time. And I had some of my Army buddies actually follow me up to Charlotte with the U-Haul, loaded her up, and we cut out, right?
Mm.
And so but cassette tapes, okay? We're going to talk about cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We had to have a pencil.
Okay.
We had the cassette tape.
You know what I'm saying? And so Pastor Lockhart would send us, man, the messages. He was faithful to make sure that we had the messages, and we were faithful to, to do with our money what the Lord would have us to do at that time. And so it was a wonderful thing, man. We were living off of
the tapes,
the tapes in Germany, because we almost really immediately went to Germany.
Yeah, they fed us the tapes.
They fed us, man.
Yeah,
overseas.
They fed us, and so that's how we kind of stayed connected. And then fast forwarding, I know we got a lot in between there you might want to talk about, but fast forwarding, that was the reason that I actually got out of service. I believe that the Lord told me to go back home and help him, and so that was it. After 10 years of the military, I could have stood on my head and done another 10.
Yeah.
But we really believe that God told us to come back to Charlotte and help our pastor, with the ministry. And so that's what we did. My dad thought I'd lost my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, I remember my dad was an old Baptist preacher. And I remember him telling me, son, you can serve the Lord while you know what I'm saying? while you're gainfully employed,
right.
You can serve the Lord, man. And but we did. I absolutely believe that I was hearing from God. And either she believed it or she was crazy or something. I don't know, but she followed.
Yeah.
She followed, man. And so we came back and went through some wild stuff, right? And lost the car, you know what I'm saying? Believing God and had a car.
Talk about it. Talk about this full faith.
And believe in God, and almost had a not a repossession, but almost had our home taken out from under us. But we're believing God. We believe that God told us to come home. You know what I'm saying? Believe in God, and went through bankruptcy once, but we're believing God that we heard from God and we stuck in there. And and I'm so grateful that God gave me the right woman, because she stayed with me. You know what I'm saying? We stayed in that thing together.
That has to be talked about. That has to be talked about. The right person. We're going to talk about that.